my last area where I was at was Barcelona, and I was there for the longest period of time. And it was an area where everything just kind of culminated together, and we were rocking it. It was great. We had a time period in our mission when we baptized 100 families throughout the mission in a month, and that was amazing. We were rocking in that mission, and we were one of the top baptizing missions in the world in our little mission there. Barcelona was again back to just meeting good poor people and helping them become who they wanted to be and who Christ knew that they could be. It was an area where we were able to see a lot more culture. It was again a lot more richer there. We had a lot of families that were Americans that were there with the oil companies. But it just great people. Met a lot of new cultures, the Muslims that were there, and we had great discussions with them, and went to a couple mosques and had an awesome opportunity to get to know them a little bit more and gain a better understanding of their religion. In Barcelona, everybody in Barcelona had, there were panaderias all over. And I talk about the food because the food was amazing. Pabellón is one of the signature dishes of Venezuela. And in the Orient, where I was at, they called it the Orient of Venezuela, the eastern part. Pabellón was shredded beef, and they laid it out so pretty. And it was shredded beef, rice, black beans, but in my area, they put a little bit of sugar on your black beans. Fried bananas, and then arepa, which is a kind of a cornmeal biscuit. Amazing. And it was just awesome. That food, when we were able to have it, and when people were able to give that to us or we were able to buy it, was amazing. Empanadas filled with beef and chicken and rice and beans and cheese. And empanadas is cornmeal, a cornmeal biscuit filled with stuff and then fried. Just amazing. This was the area that we would have these amazing hot dogs that they'd sell on the street, and I don't even want to know what they were made out of, but they would put everything on a hot dog, and it was great. And you'd go to the little bodegas, which are the little stores tied to someone's house, and they'd sell you ice cream that they had made and Malta, as much Malta as you wanted to drink. And the water down there wasn't very good, but the Malta was good. In this area, I got the harebrained idea of me being the senior companion, and couple different harebrained ideas. One time we went to a place, and it was out in the jungle, and there was a beautiful waterfall, and we were climbing the waterfall on a P day, and we got attacked by jungle bees. And I remember Elder Drewy, he got stung like 100 times, and we had to keep him awake and rush him back to the hospital. So that wasn't very cool, but strange animal encounters. Yeah, those jungle bees, one sting. Remember, I got stung once on my lip, and it just swelled up. My whole face swelled up. It was craziness. It was where I developed a taste and introduced the taste of iguana to my fellow companions. I remember one morning we were running out to go make copies at a copy machine, and we had spent in Venezuela, you have to marry the people at the Justice of the Peace, and then they can get baptized, and it would cost money, and no one had money down there. So if we wanted to baptize somebody and somebody's ready to get baptized, we would spend our money for food and other necessities on marriages. And that would be our allotment that we'd have to spend it all. So we pool our money and go marry these people off. And so one day we we were riding by this park, and I turned to one of the elders and I said, "Hey, there's iguanas there. That's where we're going to get our food." And he looked at me. He's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Dude, iguana is good. And I'll cook it up for you. I'll skin it. I've got my Leatherman with me. I'll skin it. I'll cook it up for you. You guys, and with iguana and fresh French fries and fresh guava juice, man, we got this in the bag." And he was like, "All right." He's like, "What do you want me to do?" And I said, "You shimmy up that tree right there, and I'll stand down here, and when that iguana jumps, I'll hit it with a stick, and then I'll put it in my backpack. We'll go home, and we'll take care of it." He looked at me all crazy. He's like, "All right, whatever." So he shimmies up the tree, and out comes that iguana flying at me. It was about a 4-foot iguana, just flying at me, and I load up and whack it like I was hitting a home run, and that sucker drops to the ground and starts running, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And so I'm running after, and it probably was not very good. We were in our shirt and tie, and we're in this park, and it was open game. There wasn't any license or anything you had to have to kill the iguanas, and there was hundreds of them. And so I'm trying to whack this dang thing, and it all of a sudden leaps kind of like over this ledge, and I wasn't paying any attention. And unbeknown to me, that on the other side of this ledge was a sewer pond, and I had no idea. And I go to whack, and the ground just goes out from under my feet, and I went face first into this mud pond, sewer pond. And all I could hear was my companion just cracking up, almost fell out of the tree laughing. And I got up, and I was dirty from head to toe. But I caught the iguana. And I remember we caught another one. We stuffed it in our backpacks, and I hadn't realized that the iguana doesn't just die with a bonk on the head. So when we got home, the iguana was alive. So we took care of it at home, and I actually, at first I got home with my other companions that were there. There were 6 of us, and they're like, "Oh, who beat you up? What happened to other shits? Are you all right?" And other than a bruised ego, and somehow I didn't get sick. Blessings of the Lord, I guess, to a crazy 20-year-old missionary. But I cooked up that iguana. I fried it in a little bit of oil and cornflakes and fried chicken, fried iguana, and fresh French fries and fresh guava juice. It was fantastic. Iguana is really good. Ate guinea pig while I was there. That was interesting. Capybara, which is like a swamp rat.